Hey, what's up guys? John from Magic Tech Review. So, take a look at my ZTE phones. Yeah, I'm going to tell you guys why I love ZTE so much in this video. So, please leave a like if you love my content, and let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so this is John from Magic Tech Review, and yes, I have a lot of ZTE phones. I'm going to talk about each one of them real quick. So when I first got started in the mobile industry, basically, it was around the time of Boost Mobile. They had the Samsung Galaxy Prevail, Samsung Galaxy Ultra. They might have had an LG. I'm not sure exactly which LG. Damn it. The LG. Oh my god, I can't remember it right now. But yeah, they had an LG. It'll come to me later on. So they had an LG, and then they had a ZTE Z Warp, or ZTE Warp, yeah. So the ZTE Warp was actually 4.3 inch, and it was actually bigger than most of the phones that were there. So ZTE was like trend setting back then, you know, like 2011, 2012, that time frame. And the phone, yeah, had its issues. It restarted or something like that. It would get the little red circle of death. And so yeah, ZTE. But I like ZTE because I've always sold prepaid phones, and you know, prepaid phones versus no contract phone, or versus contract phones, I should say. So you know, while other people are worried about spending $700, $800, $900, even $1,000 for a phone, sometimes, you know, I could spend $100, $150 and get a really nice phone. With a really good build quality. So, I mean, I know these phones don't have like the highest specs and the best cameras or whatever, but you know, when I started YouTube with the ZTE Zmax from Metro PCS. I was working at Metro PCS, and that's when I started. So this phone right here, literally, just this phone and a dream. And now 7,300 subscribers later, 1,019 videos later, 1.5 million views later, here I am. So I haven't used any high-tech DSLR cameras or anything like that, any flagship series phones. I've been using just ZTE phones, ZTE Zmax, ZTE Grand X Max 2, or ZTE Grand X Max Plus. Okay, so, and all these phones I actually bought secondhand off people. So this ZTE Zmax, I remember I got it for $40. So 5.7 inch screen, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigabytes of storage. It's got a 720p camera on the front, 1080p camera on the back, 8 megapixel back, 2 megapixel front. So, and this phone's unlocked, and this is the one I actually have my Cricket SIM card in right now. So it's my daily driver, per se. And yeah, so I just really like ZTE for the fact that I can experience some of that joy of having a nice phone without having to spend tons and tons of money. So, and I just, you know, I love them for that. So, the ZTE Grand X Max Plus, okay, this one is pretty much destroyed. It's on its last leg. Somebody gave it to me actually in this condition. I put a screen protector over it, but it's had so many bumps and bruises and scars, as you can see. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Broken glass everywhere. Look at this. So this is the condition I got it in, okay guys? And I used this phone for a good 6 months, maybe even a year, as a backup phone. No problems, no issues or whatever. Now it finally did fall, and it was in the case. You know, you guys remember my Nintendo case. So it was in the Nintendo case, and it did take its last drop. The phone still powers on, actually. If you can see, there's a little red dot right there. It still powers on, but the screen won't turn on. The screen is like just completely done. So as far as build quality goes, and as far as durability, I think ZTE has a great durability track record. So that's that. So they have a great, durability track record. They try to have some decent specs in their phones. They're not high-end phones, but somebody like me, I just do my email, do little YouTube videos or whatever. Play a few games. I mean, what do I really need a 4 to 5 gigahertz processor with 128 gigabytes of memory and of RAM and all these other bells and whistles? I just can't. I can't. My ZTE Zmax, I hit the button, I hit the pin. If I can hit the pin the right way, turns on, make a call, send a text message. I mean, that's what phones are meant to be, meant to do. You got your internet, you hit your Chrome. I have Google Home Launcher on my phones, so pretty much all the phones, they're pretty much all the same, So I have the Google Home Launcher. That's what I use. I have them installed on all the phones that I use. So basically my experience is the same, but I don't need something to track my eyes, and I don't need something that flips over, so phones like, Samsung, and not to take anything away from that, guys, this is just my personal experience, my thoughts, my opinions of why I love ZTE, and that's one of them. They're simple. They're pretty much simple. They're pretty close to stock as you can get. They don't have the double tap to press. They don't have the, the ZTE Zmax Pro did get the, fingerprint reader, but, other than that, they usually don't come with, all those bells and whistles. The double tap to press and the stylus and the, and the Samsung apps and Milk Music, LG World, LG apps, LG updates, and all this other stuff that is just like, I don't know, it's just too much for me. Knox for Samsung and all these other crazy little apps that I'm never going to use anyway, or I might use for a little bit and then stop using them. And then they tie you into the ecosystem. I don't like it. I like my Androids to be Androids, not Samsungs or LGs or whatever. So basically, that's why, one of the big reasons why I love ZTE phones is that they're very simplistic. You just turn them on, you do what you got to do. You can't change the fonts, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. But I don't really want to do that stuff. And if I want to do that stuff, there's probably an app to do it. So I just download an app and I do it. The ZTE Zmax Pro, I'm recording on the ZTE Grand X Max 2, so the challenge is over, guys. So the ZTE Zmax Pro, wonderful phone, guys. Wonderful phone with the fingerprint sensor. You got the 32 gigabytes of storage on board. You got the USB Type-C charging on both the Grand X Max 2 and the ZTE Zmax. So they do first and trend set. You know what I'm saying? So they come out with large displays, 6-inch display, guys. Once you use a 6-inch display, it's really hard to go back. So now the ZTE Grand X Max 2, the ZTE Zmax Pro are my daily drivers, along with the ZTE Zmax. So I carry these 3 phones around with me or whatever. I remember when the power was out, the hurricane came. Power was out for 4 days. I was able to use the ZTE Zmax, and I was able to tether my other 2 phones, and I was able to use this laptop right here that I'm shooting on, or that I'm resting the phone on, and I was able to recharge the Zmax and keep all my phones going for like days. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the whole night. Little John was still good. I was able to give him Wi-Fi or whatever. And it's just awesome. It's awesomeness, in my opinion. So this is just somebody out there that, they might not have heard of a ZTE. They don't know what a ZTE is, and they're just stumbling across my video. ZTE has definitely changed my life. Are there bad ZTE phones out there? Yes. The real cheap ones, those are, you get what you pay for. So with the ZTE Grand X3, the ZTE Grand X4, ZTE Zmax, the ZTE Warp Elite, the ZTE Zmax Pro, and the ZTE Grand X2. Jeez, a lot of ZTE. But anyway, you get what you pay for, guys. Obviously, if you buy a $10 ZTE phone and it doesn't perform how you want it, then don't blame all ZTE phones now because you had a bad experience with that one free phone that you got from a carrier or whatever, the little $10 phone you bought from Family Dollar or Dollar Tree or wherever you go buy these phones, Rite Aid. I don't know. I don't know where you can get all these phones at, but yes, they do have lower quality phones. The very low quality. But usually most of them are really good, and that's why I recommend highly ZTE. When people come in the store, I recommend them ZTE all the time. A lot of them look at me like, what? ZTE? What the heck is that? What company is that? I never heard of it. And then I educate them and I let them know that how good ZTE can be. Anyways, this is John from Magic Tech Review. Hopefully you've like this little display of all my little ZTE phones that I've had. I've actually had some more in the past, but I don't have them anymore. So the original, the Boost Mobile ZTE Z Warp or ZTE Warp, I think it's called. Oh yeah, and the LG Optimus. That was the LG phone. So anyways, if you liked the video, thank you guys for watching. This is John from Magic Tech Review. Please don't forget to leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.